Hey, what's going on, folks? Forest Green here. Today I'm here with another topic. I'm here to talk about time hacks. I think you guys like this series, so I'm going to keep going. So what is time hacks? Time hacks is simply the ability to manipulate and control time. There's many variations of time manip. So I'm going to list off a few. If I miss any, just hit me up in the comment section. Let everyone know so they can get the gist of time manipulation. Let's get it. So today, I'm going to go over the basics of time manip and the different versions of it. And I'm going to talk about the pros and cons. So let's begin. So the basic standard time manipulation abilities is like being able to freeze time. That's the common time manipulation ability, like controlling time. People can freeze you in place. People can use their time in it. People can use it in certain scenarios just to freeze time itself, freeze people, freeze objects, anything. People can also freeze, not freeze, but like they can slow down your perception of how you perceive things. So time to you appears slow, whereas actually time is moving fine. It's just your perception is slowed down. So that's another form of like time manipulation. Also, people like time itself, like there's like weaker versions. There's like complete and total time stop where you're just frozen. Everything is just frozen, and there's like weaker degrees of time stop where time is still moving, but very slowly. So you're moving like really slowly. But again, it's down to the potency of the time hack. Also, another thing with time hacks, there's people who can also rewind time. People can fast forward time. Again, that's like a higher, higher degrees of like time manipulation. People can reverse their own time or increase their own time and stuff like that. Like for example, like Tracer, like if Tracer was to die, she could just reverse a few seconds back, her own, like she can reverse her own time and reverse back so she knows not to fuck up in the same situation that would cause her to die, which is very handy. That's just an example. There's another form of time hacks is people who can accelerate like someone's age so they can make you die. So they can increase your own, your basically your lifespan. So to the point where you turn old and gray and you die. So that's another form of like a time hack in a sense. Increasing people's longevities or reducing it. Like that is also an impressive thing to do, to speed up someone's aging, of course, or to increase the age of like objects and items. So they basically turn to dust, because everything has a time limit. Like rock has like lifespan. Like if for like there's certain like plastic, there's certain materials that can last for many years, but then there's certain things over time they will rot. For example, like vegetables, like there's people who could just increase the lifespan of a vegetable and just make it fucking go rotten and bad. So that's just an example of like time hacks and how people can utilize their time hacks in many interesting ways. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the pros and cons of time hacks. So the pros of time hacks is the common obvious hack is being able to basically freeze everything in time. This gives you a huge advantage because everything is frozen in place. It gives you more time to think, more time to strategize, and it leaves your opponent defenseless, so you can go in for the kill. This is it's a useful tactic in versus debating, because people can use this tactic against you if you do not have resistance. Also, another pro, again, it can get you out of sticky situations. So if you was to get killed or something bad was to happen, you can just freeze time instantly and get your ass out of there, and then unfreeze time, and then shit goes south. Another pro is being able to you can go back in time. That's also another thing you can do. Like, people can reverse time, people can go back in time, people can restart time, and people can use it as a way to strategize if there's a situation they messed up in. So that's another cool advantage of time manipulation. So I'm going to talk about the cons of time manipulation. So the cons of time manip, it depends on the user, because some people's time manipulation may not work on certain objects or people. For example, like Code Geass, there's a character, I can't remember his name, but basically his name's Rolo. Basically what he does, his ability it's like pseudo time hacks. So basically he affects the person's perception of time. So if a person gets hit with his Geass, basically their perception of time is slowed, and to them time seems like it's moving very slowly, whereas time is actually still moving. So that's another form of time manip, but again, it's kind of bad because it's like it doesn't stop like certain objects, or like time itself. Time is still moving, so there's things that could get around it. Also, his pseudo time manipulation doesn't work on like surveillance cameras and stuff, so the footage will roll like normal. So if you try to use it in like an area where you needed to get past tight security, it wouldn't work. So that's another downside of like certain like weaker versions of time manipulation of itself. Certain characters have time limits, like JoJo characters. Certain characters is time manips only last for a few seconds. Time manipulation can, there's people that can have resistance to time manipulation, where time itself doesn't do anything to these characters. These characters are not bound by time, or they have inaccessible speed. They can move through frozen time freely, with the greatest of ease. So that's another like counter, and another con for like time manipulation. Also, another thing, this doesn't happen very often, but it can happen. If characters are smart enough, your time hacks can be used against you. People can just lock you in time loops, so like the same event happens over and over again. It's kind of like insanity. So basically, I think it happened in Code Geass. Shout outs to Rick, he told me about this. But basically, there's this woman who can like travel a few hours back into the past, or basically reset time, or like a scenario she fucks up. But basically Lelouch trapped her in this like never ending time loop, where every time her time is resetted, she dies in the same situation. So that is another con for time manipulation. You can get just stuck and ensnared in like an infinite loop of death. Like your own time hacks is used against you. So that's another con for time manipulation. But yes, folks, that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was educational. Those are just a few lists of stuff that I know in terms of time manipulation and different versions and varieties of time manipulation. If you guys have any feedback, leave it down in the comment section. If I missed anything, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Forest Green, signing out. Peace.